To put it simply, at LogicSource, we help companies buy better. So we are an execution-based firm focused exclusively on the sourcing and procurement of indirect expenditures. Yeah, there's two main metrics for me that drive all of my forecasting. One of them is unit cost modeling, and our largest expense is compensation and benefits. So I need to know from a unit model standpoint where everybody is spending their time, from a resource forecasting, utilization, how busy are they? When do they need more work? So it's a lot of making sure we're deploying the right assets in terms of people to the right projects at the right time, and making sure that, one, we don't have people who don't have enough work to do because ultimately they'll end up bored and probably go to look somewhere else, or two, that we don't have too many people who are running too hot because then they're going to burn out. So we have to make sure we're projecting all of the business activities, all of our Center of Excellence does about 15,000 sourcing activities per year. So they're in the market every single day. And we need to make sure that it's not just a small group of people doing those activities, that we divide it equally across the groups. So that would be probably my number one. And then number two, in no particular order, is all of the growth metrics. So we very much are in a growth phase right now. So we developed several years ago a growth database that looks at forecasting our business from initial prospect meeting all the way through to first dollar of revenue or when the contract signs. And so today I can look back with years worth of data and a pretty strong level of comfort that if we have an initial C-suite meeting today, at what point will we kick off our mutual value assessment, which is when we go in and do that deep dive for free on our nickel. When will we ultimately get to contracting? How long will that take? And then when will first dollar of revenue come in? And those metrics are tied very intricately with the unit cost modeling I mentioned before, because knowing when we're going to have new business come on will ultimately decide at what areas and what time we have to bring on new resources. So one of the very first things that I did was reorganize the financials completely. They were audited, they were accurate, but they were done in PowerPoint. And so you can imagine there were journal entries that were being done and not posted to the ERP system. It was very difficult to look back and piece things together. It was impossible to look forward. So while restructuring the kind of accounting day-to-day monthly close process, we also started implementing a time tracking system. We started building out that growth database to track. We looked at calendars going back from, I think it was 2013 all the way through to be able to say, okay, when was this meeting? When was that meeting? And build out all the metrics and data. But far away from anything else, I think from a culture standpoint, the hardest thing that we did was implement that utilization process.
This podcast is made possible by Ledge.